Good day to you, my fellow Ghanaians. Has it ever happened in a moment within the day in which you felt your body and your spirit were lagging in strength and you needed a boost of energy? What came into your mind to take in for an energy boost? In this GH 101 commentary, which I have titled Rush to Death, we will analyze the issue of excessive consumption of energy drinks, particularly among the youth in Ghana, along with the associated health concerns. It happened recently on one of our national holidays. The sun was high in the sky, brightening the day. It was mid-morning, and pinpricks on the skin from the hot sun already showed that the day was going to be extremely hot. The time was heading toward midday when I stepped out to go to town on some errands. At a junction, I boarded a passenger bus. I happened to get into the front passenger seat close to the driver. The bus pulled away and moved along the street heading on. At a point in the journey, the driver swerved into the other lane and began to slow down. The angle he was moving to showed he was heading towards a container shop situated at the side of the street. Sometimes they do this, so I thought as they do, he was going to pick up a parcel he had been paid to collect for someone. As the bus slowed and he stopped in front of the shop, he pulled out a 5 cedi note from a small drawer on the dashboard and extended it out the window to hand it to the shop attendant who had come out to him. "Rush," the driver said, handing the 5 cedi note to the lady, who went and returned, holding in her hand a long, round plastic bottle with a transparent curry-colored liquid inside it, handing it over to the driver, who took it. He uncapped the lid, put the bottle to his lips, and gulped down some of the liquid. Having done so, he put the cap back on the bottle mouth and slotted the bottle into the bottle holder affixed to the dashboard close to the steering wheel. As I sat there staring at the bottle of colored liquid, the condensation of ice that had formed on it dripping slowly down the bottle, I thought of all the loaded chemicals put in the colored liquid, which I knew this young driver had no idea of. Just the rush of adrenaline he was seeking to get from the energy boost. As the bus moved out of the parking onto the road, I thought to myself whether this was his first energy drink for the day, or if he had taken some other already. Would he consume more bottles before his workday ended? I thought about what was being reported in the news about commercial bus drivers over-consuming energy drinks, not regarding their health effects, which included increased heart rate, elevated blood pressure, anxiety, irritable behavior, insomnia, and dehydration, all indicators of reduced life expectancy. Over the years, commercial bus drivers and construction workers have always had ways of inducing themselves with stimulants to give themselves the boost of increased alertness, heightened attention, and elevated energy to enable them to work harder and for sustained long hours. It was coffee they drank. Some snorted tobacco or chewed a herb called bitter cola. Then cheap energy drinks began to be introduced to the market for as little as 5 cedis a full bottle. Now they had the option of assorted stimulants put into one bottle of liquid and chilled to the maximum cool. So now they have a cool drink not only to quench their thirst on a hot afternoon, but also a loaded boost of energy. Just a few days ago, I walked by a construction site in my neighborhood. A young man who had just come out of a shop was heading to the site with 3 bottles of Storm energy drinks sent by his fellow workers to purchase. It was a little past 9 a.m. and their work for the day had hardly begun yet. They were already testing for stimulants for energy. It's like most of them have begun abusing it at this point, oblivious to the knowledge that a boost in energy also means overworking of the heart. This is why most energy drink consumers suffer from cardiac arrest, which we call heart failure. Heart failure is the #1 cause of death worldwide. It happened in Kenya not long ago. A young man who, on a certain Sunday, took in 4 bottles of energy drinks within just a few minutes of each other. He returned from church and he was tired. Instead of lying down to rest, he was keen to watch an English Premier League match scheduled that afternoon. So he first took 1 energy drink to keep himself awake, then the other 3 while watching the football match between Manchester United and Arsenal. After a while, his heart started racing, and then he felt dizziness and nausea. Before he could think of what was happening to him, he blacked out. When he was taken to the hospital, it was found that his blood pressure had shot up to an alarming rate of 170/95, when the normal value is usually 120/80. Doctors declared his condition to be in stage 2 hypertension. According to the doctors, this condition occurs when a person's body becomes overloaded with caffeine, causing dehydration, excess sugar, and electrolyte imbalance. It was just by luck that he did not die from the experience. It could have taken his life. As if these overloaded chemical substances in 1 bottle of energy drink are not enough for the energy boost required, some youth in Ghana have resorted to adding other pharmaceutical drugs and certain herbs into these energy drinks. The resulting substance, which they call fixing. The aim is to further increase the strong high feeling from taking in these stimulants. It is a very worrying occurrence, the unknown damage it is causing to their internal organs. Many of the chemicals in these energy drinks that give one the feeling of boosted energy are very addictive. When you are consuming large quantities of it daily, stopping it will be a shock to the body, and the person begins to feel withdrawal symptoms and has no option but to keep on taking them to feel okay, their version of what they call normal. Knowledge is essential, and it is important to know the contents of the things we put into our bodies and their effects on our health. So, here are the key ingredients of energy drinks and what effect they have on the body. Number 1, caffeine, which is said to be the main ingredient in energy drinks, with some packing as much as 3 cups of coffee in one bottle, which can exceed daily city limits. The effects include body tremors and heart palpitations. Number 2, sugar or sweetness. High amounts of sugar can cause sugar crashes and contribute to type 2 diabetes, stomach upset, and nausea. Number 3, taurine, an amino acid substance that, in large doses, may have toxic effects on the body, cause digestive problems, and strain the kidneys. Number 4, guarana and ginseng, herbal additives that provide extra caffeine and may cause side effects, with ginseng specifically linked to potential birth defects. The combination of all these chemicals together in one bottle has the added effects of high heart rate, irregular heartbeat, high blood pressure, headaches, insomnia, restlessness, anxiety, and dehydration of the body. As with all things we take into the body, moderation of use is the key. If we do not preserve our health and overload it with artificial substances such that it cannot regulate its functions properly, then it has no option but to break down. One thing about the consumption of stimulant beverages when you are young, which the young person seems to ignore, is that when you are young, the body organs can handle it, but the residual damage remains. Many years later, as the body begins to age and natural body weakness starts, these residual organ damages become pronounced, and all the damages you did to your body when you were young and thought you will live strong forever now start showing. You begin to be suffering many illnesses from organ failures, and what you did to your body when you were young, you begin to feel the effect of them. The body is robust and efficient, but it is not immune to damage. How you take care of it will determine how well and how long it will serve you without problems. As we come to the end of this commentary, let's listen to the caution Professor Ajimai Bedu Akoso, the chairman of the Ghana Medical and Dental Council Board, spoke against consumption of energy drinks in an interview he gave to the Talking Africa program in 2025.
Energy drink, if you can avoid it from today, stop. It is dangerous. It contains too much calories, too much caffeine, too much sugar. It is bad for you. And most trotro drivers, most long distance drivers, they get at least a pack of 2 packs of 6 throughout the day. You are walking yourself into diabetes. And for this new year, we want everybody to stay alive.
This is a GH1 Oma report brought to you by Eden and Majekbo. Till another time, have a good day.